always coming out with a random thought. In order to process the reality of whatever I do, into whatever sense it makes into any difference of anybody's perspective, is to understand my own and my own reality as I move on. So I do certain things for certain reasons, for certain realities of my choice. Regardless that if I should leave anything out that I should forget and say it doesn't matter, I'll always look back to think, did it matter? I can never say that I waste my time because it's my own personal perception for the reality that I live and for what I do. So right now I'm going to bring you into something new. And just before I start, I do want to show you something. I've got a book here. Let me get the camera over here. I've got a book over here, okay, this book, and I won't remove it. It's got a few hundred pages in it, over here and over here, okay. This is all about Dragon Ball Z, The Last Dimension. And when I began this project, I received Pegasus through looking up the numbers. I found Pegasus, and when I looked up the numbers, I found Dragon Ball Z 7286, return of the SIG test, of the signal testing period. I went through first books and looking at this, I only took certain papers. Right at the beginning, I found this, third creation of 47, 120 and 21, 1 for 1, bringing the sun and man. Urantia, book paper 27, the first mankind in its world. I didn't write this. Whatever it is, boom, I started to perceive. This is like 8, 9 years ago, before I had any sense of reality. In fact, before I had any blockades in my mind, I was so buzzing into this. Now I have a little bit more going on in my life. But I did want to bring back this one paper. I'm going to have just some reminder papers, because if I don't remind myself, so I hung a few things on the wall. And you see that? That's my closet over there. Okay? So let me just put the camera back over here. And this is the paper that I found. One of the first papers that I found is right here. Now there's a terrible light coming in here. I'm going to have to douse this light. Terrible light. My golly gee. I mean, I love the light. I like to be outside. You know what I'm saying? I like to be outside. Ah, yeah. There's no problem going outside. I love to look at the sun. You know what I'm saying? I love to look at the sun. Bag of tricks. So if we follow up at the top, if we're talking about Japan and we're talking about Dragon Ball Z, we're talking about the Red Sun Nibiru. The return of the SIG test, number 2 testing station. G, the gateway. Do you see the stars on each side? Why is there stars on each side? Why would there be a star? That star is on number 10 of the telephone. Where is it on this phone? Is it in this phone? I don't see the star in this phone. Isn't that amazing? Yes. Imagine where the star is on this phone. Okay? It's on the U. It's on the U here, cellular, okay? To where it's on the 10 on the telephone, 21 and 10, 31, 7 by 3, 7 plus 3, equals to 31 plus 6, equals to 37 again, because we hit a 0. And then on here, it's on the 8 key. 7 says and. Where the hat? I don't know, but I'm in the center of the hat. Here's the point. I live in the middle between this point and that point. To my right is 7, to my left is 5. 5, 6, and 7 make I'm 18. My birth came in at 9 next to the star. I was bracketed between a belly hover and a little lover. Between the two, I lived in the star, and here was my gateway. But the payoff was in Mars. And the numbers came in creation. But where was I at? I was in Venus, but who was I, and where was I, and what was it all about? Well, that's an explanation point and an explanation point. So this is where these realities come in, because the values change. Like I mentioned on the calculator, if you want to go the real reality, plus, what's the next 2 numbers? Well, the next 2 numbers, if you want to add, or do you want to multiply? We're multiplying, it's minus and equals. Where's the next numbers? It's point, it's 3, it's x. And then we can do this way also, but doesn't it seem weird? Doesn't it feel more open when you're on an angle? Right? I mean, I can go straight up here, but I'm not really going anywhere. Here, I'm going the greatest distance, over here. Then if I want to drop down and move over, I can just move back a space, but at least I can see equally. If I go up to here, I'd have to look down here and down here, but if I went up to here, I'm just looking down and across. My angle to here from here is equal, and from here it would be equal. But if I would go to here, one would be a multiply and one would be a plus. See these lines? Multiply and plus. So I'm going to get back to the Dragon Ball Z. Then it says view version, the return of Sigmund Freud, testing number 2G, Satan 1 and 2. Now, why in the world does it have to sound like Einstein, Satan? Or how about 8, 10, 108, 54 and 54, the dual suns? And not to get into too much, but we're going to try and read what's in the yellow. I'm brain dead virtually. It's hard enough for me sociably. So take me away from the big bad world and agree to marry me so we can start all over again. And then there's the numbers, in which when I first began, the numbers didn't matter. But the number that says I'm brain dead is at the gateway. The history becomes from Zion, Israel. The coffee is the creation of man. The coffee in the television TV comes from number 36. More communication in 9 Lives of the Cat and the split world at 12 and 12. Bring me into 24. The people who never really care. Bring me to the 2 worlds together. In the 1 world where I am, your ears are full, but your heart is empty. Okay? You bring me back to my birth. One of many zeros kicked around and bored, because really in reality your spirit hasn't come in. And then we come to 300, which is 366. Okay, that's the total. 122 times 3, 212 equals to the 5. It's the center of all. And on here it says, in the heart of the center of all, it says, do you feel like a chain store, practically floored and bored? One of many zeros kicked around and bored. Your ears are full, but you're empty. Holding out your heart to the people who never really care how you are. So give me a coffee and TV. History, I've seen so much, I'm going blind. And I'm virtually brain dead. Sociably, it's hard enough for me. Take me away from this big bad world and agree to marry me so we can start all over. So this is how it began with the red sun 10 years ago. As you can see, 5775, 10 years ago I marked this. To 7286 is 1511. But it started in 5765, so it had been 1521. I just bumped into this number the other day. This is O and this is U. It equals to 36 creation. The difference in time between the beginning and the end. 15 and 11, okay, this is 2, this is 6. This is back to the Venus world. 2 and 6 equals to 8 and 4. 84 is your birth Pluto. 95 is the Neptune world of Einstein. You live divided by Earth and Mars. Deimos and Phobos. 1521, I just ran into this time somewhere. And the more I run into my numbers here and there, the more I know the equation that brought me to those numbers, meeting this reality equation to this reality equation, gave me these numbers, and from the reality of the equation telling me whatever the equation is, why I brought it up, to understand it in the shape or design of maybe broken windows or panes of windows or divisions or whatever piece of art, I'll understand the dimensions because of all the squares and points that are on this paper. How many points are on here? How many stars? How many plus and multiply signs? How many lines? The distance of the line? No, where all the lines were evenly cut off. And you know what? Start in the middle. The question is, how do you begin? Do you go, I just want to show you one thing because there's a reality on how to begin. Okay, I'm going to make it simple. Okay, if I'm going to draw a box here, and I'm going to draw a point here, and a point here, okay? If I want to come from this point to this point, right? That's no problem, right? Now, if I put a point here and I put a point here, just like those, I cannot come from this point to this point without breaking the barrier of the other point, okay? This is how it must. So they break the barrier of the other point, and these two come in to run the star system. And there's your first 8. But there's more realities to this. This is just a window. There was one other thing I wanted to mention. If I'm going to put a straight, how would I do this? How am I going to do this? If I put a straight line like this, I cannot go through this. I have to go over or under or through it. That means we have to bore a hole. I bore a hole. So I bore a hole so the light can go through. Now I cannot go down this way. I have to go through, because if I go down, I will bore a hole in this one and bore a hole in this one, making this rod weak. We make this rod weak, we have to tie it up with ropes if we make it weak. Okay? Tying it up with ropes, making it weak. Now we have 1, 2, 3 full areas and 1, 2, 3, 4 half areas. Now I'm going to get on to something else that's not part of the design I want to show you. But a friend of mine invites me over, and I am not a little crazy about him. He's got a weird way and he gets mad, like he's got a little problem, but he loses his temper is the part I don't like. The rest of his craziness I don't care, because I'm nuts. And he brought to me a box. You ever see a box like this? Zzz. Maybe a stop sign. Now we're going to follow. Did he follow the lines? You see the lines that are here in the box? I'm going to redesign this box for you. He used these as cushions to sit outside, so he wouldn't have to sit on the cement. But the reality is of this box is this is the box. He used a line. You see the line here? And the line here. He made a line, and he retook this box, rectangular in shape, to form it to, I'm going to try and get it back. I never did that before. Now that I unfolded his creation, I don't know if I can. Yeah, look. So now that he had the box, right? He just tucks in the center. He tucks in the center, and it's a stop sign again. Perfect. All you need to do is tuck in one side, and it all becomes a square. You must run in two, and the reason you run in two is because you got to connect the links. Everybody connects the back link, the back tail. My nose holds on to the elephant in front, and the elephant in back holds on to my tail. Two links. The other thing I wanted to mention is how can I do this? How can I do this? Oh yes. I'm just thinking. I want to show something, and I'm just thinking. I put a square here. I put a square, and no. I know what I want to do. I want to put a brick here, and I want to put a brick here, and now I'm going to put a brick here. Now, if I put that brick here, to put the brick on the outside and bring them together, automatically becomes 3. These were only 2, but to bring everything squared together, that's 3. Now, to bring this squared together, these are 4. So now I bring these squares together. Now these are 5. Now I bring these squares together, and these are 6. And I'm not sure what the whole formation is supposed to bring, but we looked at some designs, and oh yes, you see the tablets inside, the 3 bricks? There's something to do with that, I know. I can already see in the artwork that it's starting to talk to me. Starting to talk to me. Maybe it's going to unscramble. What's it going to say? It's going to say 3, 6, 4. 3, 6, 4. Is that the combination? 3, 6, 4. 28 times 13 is 3, 6, 4. There's 365 times 3 equals to 900 equals to 180 equals to 15 equals to 9, 10, 95. 1095 will bring me to 1695. This will bring me to 7 and 5, the gateway. All of a sudden, the moon brings me to the gateway. This becomes 1695, and then all of a sudden, 70 years later, we have 1776, but we're not going to go over there. So we have 1095, and then on the last year, we get 366 days. So we have 6, 11 is 1, 9, 6 is 15, and 1 is 16, and 1. 1761 days. 1900 L1. She 1. L1. 1L. 1761. What can that give me? 10 years before the gateway. 5 and 5 it took me to get there. 5 and 5 took me to get there. 1761 to 2021 is 259 years, which equals to 518, which equal to Mars and the Heaven Link.
I'm just going over something really weird. 1761 plus, what did I say? What did I say the number was? 259. This would be September 16th. 9/16, birth of the light, September 16th. 2021, I'm sorry. This would have been 260. That makes it different. It would be 266 now. It'd be 626. So what is this? 266 day is 11 days. It is the 19th of September. 919, the birth. 11 days later, it's supposed to be the next birth, which is October 4th. 919, 266. 266, that's 11 days. It's 4 days. No, it's not the right date. September, 11 days, 4, and then take away 4, and then take away 7. September 23rd, 923, creation of BC, becomes creation of man 11 days later on October 4th. Which equals up to the number of 266. So this 266 would turn into 277. 727, the gateway, which is of DNA creation, DN 24, 23, and 14 and 23. The reason I did this is because the difference between this is 9, okay? 7 and 2 is 9, 7 times 2 is 14 equals 23. Sometimes they only show 2 numbers and you understand the second number to the reality. So the passage of the gateway, this equals to 37 and 46 Zion Israel, and the passage is 31. See, this thing told me what it was. What is this? This is that we lose one day, okay? We lose one day of man, okay, every 4 years. So in 400 years, okay, we'd lose in 400 years, okay, we'd lose 100 days. In 1200 years, in 400 years, we lose 100 days. In 2000 years, okay, we lose 200 days, okay? 4,000 years, 1,000 leap years. Is that what it is? 4,000? No. In 400 years of Moses, 400 years, we lose 100 days. 400 years in bondage, they lose 100 days, which is 1010. The 1010 is the liberty of the contact and the information, which is number 56. They've been cut off from Baba Alibaba or whatever it is. Okay, this becomes 616. 616 equals to 1616 in the light, and 7 and 7 equals to 2323 BC. Cut off from number 23, September 23rd, 923 is their birth. 09, which is 69 and 23, 69, 79, 89, 92. 92 is the birth, it's yellow-black. Okay, yellow-black, February 29th, that extra day. So I'm not, when I talk for a reason, because I can feel it inside and I see it. So in 400 years, you lose 100 days. In 1,000 years, in 4,000 years, you lose 1,000 days, right? But I can't do 4,000 years. I'm going to do only 2,000 years. But it was before and after. So I need to do 5 times whatever this was before. 2,000 years divided by 4 is 500. I lost 500 days. You get a free parking, they give you a $500 bill, but 5 becomes 565, becomes 30 and 30 and 11, and 11 becomes 41 and 41. But the only numbers they're going to show is 30 and 41, because we already know the difference between that is the 11, the difference between that is the 11. 60, 41 becomes 71, the gateway becomes 71, the gateway, add 6, and we just hit 777. And all I did is find out the number of days that we miss in the last 2,000 years. The only thing we're missing now is we just did 3 leap years. 12 years in the year 2000. That's why they thought it was coming. But 2016 is the next leap year. This year running right now, I don't know if you know it, but we're in a year of 366 days right now. We're in that mode. So this is the year of past where number 29 is going to show up. From all, and you don't even want to look at it that way. We're going to look at it a little bit different. We're going to add up 365 days. Then we're going to add on 45 days, then which is going to be 410, 10-4,
right? And then we're going to add on another 15 days, 425, 4 quarters. Give me a buck equals 616 again. Why? Because we have to count all the way to the 29th of February. From January 1st to February 14th, it's 45 days. Give me the foxhole. From the 14th, add up 15, although it's 16 days, right? Give me the light. It's 15 because the 15 is what connects, but it's 14 in between. 16, 15, 14, 45, the foxhole. So this is the last trimester, and this is the 4th leap year, okay? Inside this, can I call it inside the vogue we live? This is the 4th leap year. 16 years, the light of man. 16 years, the first 8 years, the first year, the second year, the first 8 years. Let's not count it because 8 equals communication. But the minute we get to 1010, and one of the realities of 1010, okay, is because of J and T, the 10th letter and the 20th letter. 2010. 16 brings the light, 26 brings the Venus light within. It's 16 and 16 because this will become 10 and 10, becomes 16 and 16 because it's a split world. No, it's inside the center. It brought 2 worlds together of 10 and 10 of the light to split open over here, or whichever way you want to actually look at it. Excuse me, I'm maybe not explaining it properly, but it brings the day and the night, the 16 hours of the day, 1 and 6, because 1 times 6 remains 6. But this one brings you the night. 2 and 6 is 8. 2 times 6 is 12. 6 and 6, 2 worlds of night. 5 and 4 is 20. 5 by 2 is 10. 7, Christ. 5 and 5, 54 is the sun, 52 is man. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 plus 2 is 7. It's Jesus Christ, the gateway. The hammer. This is what we're going to do next. This is the last piece that I began to do. We're going to run 24 down to 0, okay? 8 plus 6, 8 times 6 is 48. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4, 6 and 8. This will actually come to 120. Plus 14 is 134. AC, DC. DC, the gateway. Okay, 3 by 4, 3 plus 4 is the spirit. Okay, soul over spirit, whichever way you want to look at it, because soul is 67. So we get these 2 numbers. And I take these 2 numbers, 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 is 5 and 4. Then I take these 2 numbers, 4 by 8 is 32, 4 plus 8 is 12. I take these 2 numbers, 3 times 2 is 6, 3 plus 2 is 5. Then I take these 2 numbers, 12, 1 times 2 is 2, and now I have all single numbers. All single numbers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 360. Now we're going to count. 14, 62, and 9, 71, and 5, 76, and 12, 86, 87, 88, 99, 104, 10-4, 164, Zion, Israel. Bring it all the way down to the end. You want to count it up in single digits to see what it comes out, and I came up with Zion, Israel 64. 3, 4, 5, 10, 16, 18. Oh, wait a second. I had 360 plus 64 is 424. Is that not right? 424 brings us back to the clock again. See, this clock can only go to 24. This clock can only go to 19 because the 1 is here. High is 9. The 4 is here. In that world, the high is 4. 24 is X, S, X, sex between the clock and its numbers. 4, 8, 12, and 5, and 4, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41. 41. The next one, 1, 5, 8, 9. 1 times 4, 1 plus 4 equals 9. Birth of 9 of the 24 hours of the clock of JT 2010, which came and it went. 6 years later, creation of man. The 4 leap years, 4 and 6, Zion, Israel, where this adds up to 64. 1 brings the spirit of birth. 4 brings the delta angle, DA, Dada. 48 is space, and it is the doorway with 32. BC world reverse, 32, 23, 55 between 4 and 7. 4 plus 1.5, 7 minus 1.5, 5 plus a half, 6 minus a half. They're both 55, make 110 stories, the Twin Towers, between the left side and the right side. Here's the left, here's the right, here's the right, here's the left. I don't care which side. 4 in the middle of these two is 5.5. 5 in the middle of these two is 5.5. 5.5, 5.5 is 110. Look at it any way you want. 1, 1, 1, 1, 1,111. minus 110, minus 110. Keep doing that. Just keep doing that. And I did this in my other video. Now take 1,111 and add it. Okay? Everything is based on 43 times 47 equals to a total of 2021, and that's our final date for the closure of the books of that period. The 44th, okay, actually reconnects the home base. So after 2065, is that what the number is? 47 times 44 equals 2068, okay, which is 2668 or 72668, because it's the gateway, the two worlds of the gateway. The 6 is in between. 6 and 7 are together. 6 is the side that carries the spirit. If I'm the 6th man, I carry the spirit, I'm 7. I leave go of the spirit, I'm 6. Raphael 7286 in a constellation of Pegasus, just throwing things around. I haven't done this yet. I haven't done the elements yet. I haven't done animals yet. I haven't done astrology yet. I haven't done the totality in all relationships to sports and their teams. I haven't done states. I haven't done presidents. I haven't done in anything around the world. I am so far behind in thousands of years maybe to catch up. May we live on, because the mind never stops. Even when the body goes down, who says your mind is stopped? Thank you for sleep.